Hey class, I'm Mr Thornton and I'm going to help you get that C in your GCSE. This lesson, alloys. A completely pure sample of metal just has one type of atom. So, for example, completely pure iron just has iron atoms in there. By comparison, an alloy has impurities which are accidentally or deliberately introduced into that metal in order to give it slightly different properties. For example, when iron is produced by the blast furnace, around 4% of the mass is actually carbon impurities. Now these make it extremely hard, but they also tend to make it quite brittle. By varying the amount of these different atoms in there, we can vary the properties of the metal. If we then purify the iron further and remove some of this carbon, so it's below 2% carbon, that's what we then call steel. It's not quite as hard wearing as the cast iron which we get from the blast furnace, which has 4% carbon in it, but it is significantly more flexible, so if it's struck very hard, it doesn't tend to shatter. This is why steel is so useful to us. Cast iron with its 4% carbon impurities is only really good in compression. So it's useful for building and holding things up, but it's not very useful in tension for things like cables. Taking the percentage of carbon down to below 2% changes the properties of the alloy. We can also introduce other elements to give us additional desirable qualities. For example, adding a little bit of chromium into our steel will actually make stainless steel. Of course, iron isn't the only metal that we tend to use alloys of rather than using the pure metal. Pure copper, gold, aluminium are all again far too soft, and so we'll tend to make alloys of them because they're much more practical use to us. Now you don't specifically need to know exactly what we're alloying them with, you don't specifically need to know of those uses. You just need to be aware that the pure metal can be too soft, and so by introducing impurities in there, in very, very small amounts usually, you can actually give that metal different properties and much more useful properties. That's all you need to know about alloys. Good luck in your GCSEs everyone, and if this video was useful to you, please use the buttons below to like, subscribe, or share it with anyone else you think could also use a little help. Thanks for watching.